Betul lah.
Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1. Let's go. They confused. Okay, salam sejahtera and welcome to JomUnited. We are a Malaysian Manchester United channel. Yes, dengan bangganya Buatan Malaysia. Right, if you're new to our channel, like usual, please like, please share our videos, please comment, okay? We want your input. We would appreciate your input, okay? If you don't agree with any of the panels, if you agree, don't agree, just comment away, okay? And don't forget, please subscribe because we are en route to 2,000 subs. Okay, and also bagi kawan-kawan yang semua yang nak balik kampung tu, alright, a special message, please drive safe, okay, and then also most importantly, be safe and also enjoy maximum, alright. I think this is 2 years since kawan-kawan semua balik kampung, so make sure enjoy makan kau-kau, alright. Ada any rendang, anything can tapau back for us, no problem, alright.
and even those who are driving to the airport to pick up their family and loved ones.
Yes, please be safe, drive safe.
Alright, okay.
Tahu apa pula tu? Ini dah awal-awal dah balik ni.
So basically macam biasa JomUnited ni dia bukan sekadar 3 orang yang ada kat screen ni, dia bukan sekadar 10 panel lagi yang ada. Dia juga adalah sebuah community, semua boleh. Yang di Malaysia, luar Malaysia pun boleh join. Tu dekat link kat bawah tu. Scroll sikit kat bawah tu ada link, masuk saja. Yang penting apa benda kena buat, kita kena respect each other. Respect.
Okay,
Jal,
guys.
Tadi you perasan tak kostum tu confused macam Ralph Ragnick sikit lah.
Mana Ralph Ragnick never confused, okay? You can compare me with Ralph Ragnick, yes, but Ralph Ragnick is never confused. He act confused to create a bit of drama, is he? But actually I know what I'm doing, man. I know what I'm doing. It's part of the plan, part of the script. It's part of the script, I tell you. Okay, so guys, Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1. Okay, I think before we went into the game, I think most of us would agree that we would take the draw lah, okay? Definitely we'll take the draw. Probably we expect we got a beating like against, maybe Liverpool or something like that. But then, yes, personally, I would take that 1 point, all right? So let's start. First and foremost, the most positive person I would say is probably Cristiano Ronaldo, all right? So we'll start with Pijal first. What do you think about our GOAT?
Alright, so Ronaldo ni satu je. Game lawan Chelsea ni boleh kata one of the best performance yang pernah tengok in terms of not just contributing the goal, in terms of the leadership yang dia tunjuk kat depan tu tau. Memang all this while kita macam memanglah kata dia ni good lah apa benda, tapi orang kata the leadership tau, showing that you are really passionate about the club, showing that dia memang nak show something to the player, to the other stand players. Memang orang kata dia keep on scoring goal ni is part of the game, but the most important thing, masa tak score goal tu apa yang you kena buat? Show some leadership in terms of go push. Masa nak kena push, masa nak kena track back, memang lari. Orang kata boleh nampak game ni Ronaldo can be one of the, kita ada Rashford, kita ada all this Ilanga semua kan. Diorang pun macam orang kata kurang berlari compare kepada Cristiano Ronaldo. So this is what I like the most about Ronaldo for the game against Chelsea lah. So for me, memang for me one man of the match lah. Man of the match. Besides closely from the De Gea lah. Yep.
So berdasarkan apa yang you tengok, and then of course sekarang we are ridden with dengan injury semua, ada players yang nak main, tak nak main and whatnot, right? So what you see Ronaldo perform sekarang ni, do you think that it's a good idea that he actually stays for next season?
Susah lah. I macam cakap lah, kalau katakan kita ada seorang players yang memang boleh help Ronaldo. Maksudnya kita tak, for me lah personally, I don't want Ronaldo to be playing every game for next season. Tahu? Because kalau dia main every game for next season, then the other striker yang memang boleh contribute goal, dia akan terasa macam like left behind now. So Ronaldo dah 15 gol, dia baru 2-3 gol. Kan? Tapi kena faham lah, Ronaldo akan play every game. Tapi this second striker ni memang takkan main every game. So kalau boleh, if Eric Ten Hag boleh orang kata manage Ronaldo well, kan, mungkin macam ada some dekat dalam Telegram group cakap kita mungkin tak mainkan Ronaldo for this Champions League ke, mungkin bukan Champions League lah, all this conference cup
Europa League if any
conference cup now. Mr. Conference.
Please don't. We're not going to talk about that.
Okay,
Hey,
so for me, let's just focus him on the league game saja.
Spoiler. That one is for future episode. We don't talk about that now. That is for 2 episodes away.
Pijal.
Right?
Why not?
Okay, Pija, continue. Sorry,
Alright.
interrupt.
So tu dah kata, let's manage Ronaldo, just play him in the league game saja. But if Erik Ten Hag decides to play him every game, then I would rather have a much younger striker to play and be our main striker compared to Cristiano Ronaldo for next season. Because I tahu kalau kata kita nak main all this game pressing, we need someone yang memang consistently akan main number 9, memang dia akan main every game. Tahu. So instead of kita rely on Ronaldo saja yang akan main every game, I would rather rely someone yang memang the new blood semua yang boleh main kat depan tu. At least dia dapat because this is for the future. I don't want memang current kan, tapi this is for the future punya development. Tu je.
Okay, we got a comment by Roger Chu. Ronaldo only behind Salah in the goal scoring charts. I think with Son at 17 goals, if I'm not mistaken, with that shitty midfield behind him, and also the shitty winger on the left. Okay, we're not going to talk about that now, but later. All right. Okay, another comment by Faisal Zaidin. All right, gaji Ronaldo 500k per week. Cuma bagi main alternate match. Doc, what do you think about this question?
I think it depends. It really depends who you bring in as a new young striker, right? And it will also take time for them to bet in. They're not going to straight away start, and unless they're like one of our ex-boss Ole, who started on fire, right? And it's not very common for them to really start on fire. So the young striker might be the one who actually will probably play alternate games. I would actually keep Ronaldo. I mean, what that earlier comment said was absolutely correct. I mean, with the crap midfield and with the passes that he's getting, he's still on 17 goals. And even yesterday, that pass from Matic, right? It was a smart, cheap pass, but that first touch just killed it dead.
Fantastic.
And the second touch was in the back of the net. That is clinical, that is clinical. And, even if you look at his last few games, like the hat-tricks, they're all clinical goals. And that's what you need, somebody up front. So if Erik Ten Hag can play a system which incorporates a striker like that, I mean, it can be deadly, but what he needs is supply. Yesterday, if he was playing on the Chelsea side, he would have scored a hat-trick.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
That's what Keane said as well. Probably
Yeah,
he'll give 50 over goals and whatnot. 50
No,
goals.
you look
or
at the
whatnot.
crosses that were coming in from Reece James and Marcus Alonso.
Yep.
He would have, you know what? They put it in the correct areas, right? And that's where the striker should be. But yesterday, if you look at it, Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, they were just missing those crosses. He was flying right across,
Exactly.
and even the header which De Gea saved was pretty much straight at him. If it was Ronaldo, he would have buried that, So again, it depends on the supply. He's not getting that kind of supply. If he gets that kind of supply, I easily tell you 25 to 30 goals a season, even at this age.
All right, just to add on to this question a bit, I think Ronaldo's contribution is not only on the pitch. All right, I think because with us not getting any Champions League football, very likely we're not going to get any. We won't be getting any Champions League football. So the attraction of playing with Ronaldo can probably interest the younger and up and coming players to come and maybe learn from him and whatnot. So also on top of that, with our current crop of players, people like Ilanga, Sancho and whatnot, they can still, Hannibal, they can actually still pick his brains and learn from the good. All right. So I think that is
probably I don't really agree with Pijal to say that he play alternate match, Dom. If you look at our rest of our strikers, what have they contributed in the season? Our rest of our strikers are like 4 or 5 goals in the season.
Wouldn't you think like someone who is that kind of age, I think Smurf brought it up much earlier before a few episodes back. 37, regardless, yes, he's good, he's the good and whatnot. He takes care of his body well, his physiotherapy, all this kind of stuff, whatnot. But then age, we can never defeat age. So it would be best that maybe we use him sparingly at, like maybe the midweek games he can actually skip and whatnot, right? Assuming that, we won't be, if we don't go to Europe, but most likely we'll get Europa or whatnot. So those games probably, at a risk of getting him injured, we don't play that games. Maybe the main games.
I mean, it really depends. It really depends on what the season looks like, whether he's able to maintain that kind of consistency, But if we are playing like Europa League, you can actually play some of the younger players in those games, especially easier games, right? And then you can rest him. But again, would he want to be rested? Knowing him,
exactly. That's another thing.
But the good thing is, right, he really is, whether he's 37 now, he's terribly fit. He gives, he knows how to tailor his her game. He knows when to actually put on the brakes he doesn't run simply and things like that. So that is why the question always comes, he doesn't do the pressing and all that. So you will see how it goes. Again, it depends how Eric Ten Hag sets up and wants to play. But I would think we could use a clinical finisher up front like that.
Okay, we move on to the next positive of yesterday. All right, this one we got not much time. All right, so we'll make it a quick one. All right, a quick one. All right, let's talk about the guy in between the post yesterday. All right, David De Gea. All right, this one, Pijal, you want or not, Pijal? Oh, no, okay lah. Dog De Gea lah. All right, quick one. All right.
No, I think so much has been made about his passing up from the back, but without his shot stopping abilities and Ronaldo up front, we would just be above the relegation zone. I mean, yesterday, to be honest, there was no really like world-class saves, but I think his positioning was perfect. The 1-to-1 where Kai Havertz broke through, his positioning was superb. I think even the header is positioned as well. The only thing was the goal, but again, look at I really blame both the wing backs, the right side, left side. Reece James is been crossing from there and very dangerous. He was left open. Ilanga was slow to come back to cover. Telles had drawn inside. And when you look at the opposite side, I don't even know who was playing on the right wing, because I think Rashford was somewhere in the center along with Ronaldo. So it should have been Rashford, and they're totally open. And Alonso can bury that kind of volley. He's done it numerous occasions, right? So again, without him, and this season, where would United be? If he had one of those inconsistent seasons which he had in the last few years, we would be really, really in trouble.
Thank you, Ronaldo. Thank you, David De Gea. All right, Peter. I gave him more than 1 minute. I'm watching.
See, this is how the disrespectful yang David De Gea dapat tau. Tengok thumbnail depan tu, kan? Ni nak hit sikit dah ni. Tengok thumbnail depan tu, kan? Dia kata one man show. You forgot about
it's like that, to set up, actually, again, this is all planned one. So when we do something like that, then the panelists, they get fired up, then they prepare a lot. If not, he's just going to talk for 15 seconds only.
Every time I'm fired up, right? And then you cut it down 15 seconds,
we need to drive down. Okay, so it's not really a one-man show lah. Okay, it's more like a two-man show lah, right? Which I think Justin, Sean, and Lee mentioned here lah. Right now, it's more like CR7 and De Gea versus Brentford next match. Okay, which is true, which is very, very true. Right.
No, but that's what I don't get. Everybody says they are the problem, right? What happened to all the other 9 players in the pitch? Nobody says anything about them.
JomUnited bought macam United bought bias. No lah, it's not bias. Doc knows I love De Gea also, right? Doc, I love De Gea also. Okay, we move on to the next. All right, Pijal.
I love De Gea, but we'll move on to the next one.
I give you 1 minute. Okay, Pijal. Yes, Pijal.
Tak apa. It's gonna hit. Nanti, it's okay. Carry on. Apa nak you tanya dong? Silakan.
Okay, I nak tanya you soal. Okay, the next positive one, let's talk about Nemanja Matic. All right, Nemanja Matic, I think at the moment now, he's our best performing midfield. And then would you say that, would you say it would be a waste because he's leaving at the end of the season? And then also we don't know the situation in the next season, whether we are going to bring in 2 defensive midfield or whatnot. Do you think that maybe we should just keep him for maybe another year or something like that? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I boleh nampak tau. I tak tahu lah. The best player beside David De Gea dengan siapa nama Ronaldo, the best player yang main semalam tu ada 2 orang tau, Juan Mata dan juga Nemanja Matic tau. I tak tahu apa. For me lah, the way I see it, the way game yesterday main, memang 2 player ni je, former Chelsea player, these 2 players yang memang nak leave the club this season, suddenly they are the best player, the oldies. The oldies always perform tau. Alright, so dia kata memang sayang. If you give me the chance, if you ask me, I would rather keep Nemanja Matic for another season just to give that experience. Boleh nampak memang McTominay ni suddenly I macam dia main ke tak main, nampak macam dia tak ada loh, dia tak wujud. Suddenly Nemanja Matic is all over the place in terms of cutting the passing line, memang supporting the defenders, memang dia tolong, even though dia expose 1 or 2 times because of the Telles dan juga Rashford combination. But then boleh nampak memang dia memang the one yang memang drive the midfield to go forward to attack after the concede lah. Memang nampak even yalah, yang macam cakap lah, that chip from memang orang kata itu unexpectable lah. Memang orang kata patutnya dia should be kept him for another season, just at least kalau kita ada 1 CDM, And who knows, maybe some of the odd games kita perlukan Matic. As that experience from Matic kita perlukan in terms of nak go for the new season tu. Tapi itulah dia dah decide nak ni.
Yeah,
But then
but then,
yeah.
like
What I
maybe
like about him, right, is actually he holds on to the ball, he draws people
Yes, correct,
into him, and then he opens, you know. Whereas the
Yes.
rest of our midfielders, right, the moment somebody comes in to close
they will
them,
just let go of the ball.
let go, and always side passing, side passing. But I love the way he's close control. He's not scared to lose the ball,
Yes,
so he will still pull people, and then pop on through ball to open up everything, and that's really good lah. I mean, at least even if you're staying in a sort of a backup coaching role, right? He and Mata would definitely have a place lah. Even Mata yesterday was fantastic when he came on.
What do you think about Mata? Do you think that we should keep him? And also just to read up Smurf's comment, Mata was brilliant. I did not notice a single missed pass, calmness and superb control.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, right, Mata has been wasted in the last couple of years, which should probably be now towards the tail end of his career. The only thing is, because I think Ole was more on speed, fast breaks, right? And Mata is not the fastest of players, but he is a player that's still capable of opening a defense with that kind of a beautiful pass, And, he's always on the ball. Even yesterday, you see, right, when he came in, he is the one moving the ball around, he's coming, collecting the ball, moving it around. And that is the kind of experience that some players will probably need. So, I mean, he would be like probably now, maybe not a starter, maybe not even playing, but he would be there to at least, maybe move into a coaching role, an ambassadorial role, something like that. And I think he's a gem of a person now. So that's what everybody says as well.
He writes very good blogs, so that's why. Mata showed more in 10 minutes than Bruno did the entire game. Alright, so I got a comment here by Art. Alright, ask Bruno buat apa? Pijal, Bruno buat apa, Bruno? Tenggelam lagi, masih tenggelam lagi.
Tapi memanglah orang kata during the entire game boleh nampak Bruno memang tak ada gol, but we can see that he is really trying now. I said this is one of the game yang memang dia try. Even though boleh nampak, memanglah kita kutuk Intel bila dapat bola, dia terlepas bola. He is a midfielder, he is a creative midfielder player. Memang tendency untuk lose the ball tu memang akan banyak. Cuma boleh nampak, there are some times yang mana memang midfield, all the midfield, all the defender dah semua dah kat depan. He is the one player yang memang track back and helping the defender tau. Memanglah kita boleh criticize Bruno because of that. But don't ignore that part of defensive, that run, that energy yang dia provide to the team tau. Something that has been lacking since Paul Pogba. Masa tu Paul Pogba datang kan. Paul Pogba memang dia has the beautiful vision of all the long pass, but he don't have that energy. The energy yang Bruno ada. Bruno provide that energy in terms of giving options to the players, passing bola pada dia. So I don't know. I think for this season memanglah dia kata there are some odd games yang memang dia perform poorly, but we have to show some respect for Bruno in terms of, even though tak nampak dekat stats in terms of the number of assists, the number of goals tak nampak, but he still provide that option for players to pass the ball to him.
I got two. I mean, not issues I would say 2 questions regarding Bruno. Right, number one, right? Okay, during the reign of our previous manager, which I shouldn't mention because later someone will get very excited. He actually mentioned that Bruno is the type of player that you let him do whatever he wants.
Yes.
Out of 10 passes, he make 1 or 2 will actually. But then, don't you think right now, this attempt to make that world-class pass or whatever, it gets a bit irritating to a certain point. That sometimes he just belasa, just tendang and just let go of the ball. Instead of maybe he should learn from Matic, hold on to the ball more proper and then to really see opportunities, do the simple pass instead of trying to do those 1 in a 10 kind of pass. Pijal, what do you think?
Itu kata people have to understand, a creative player, he always have this vision. Dia memanglah sometimes there are certain parts yang mana dia try. At least try. Kita tak nak these players yang memang orang kata, kita keep on criticizing Michael Rashford. Dapat bola, apa dia buat? Lari macam tu. Dia tak try. But when we have someone like Bruno who is really trying to create something, then kita criticize, apa benda passing bola macam tu, apa benda dapat bola dan terlepas. Dia kata, we have this contradict punya comments bila when it comes to Rashford, kita kutuk kau sebab nampak dia tak try. Tapi bila datang dengan Bruno, kita dia ni apa ni buat benda-benda macam ni, yang tak sepatutnya dia buat. I mean like itulah my
but can I also ask a question?
Okay. Go ahead.
Bruno has been playing previously in a sort of a false nine position, or just behind the striker, right? And then spreading passes to the wingers, and also trying to trade passes into the striker. Do you feel, Pija, that he's dropping too deep now?
Yeah.
He's being forced to drop too deep because defensively the midfield is not strong. Defensively, your wing backs are also not covering, and he's forced to drop too deep. And even when we're moving forward, he's being forced to drop too deep to collect the ball, because there's nobody who's capable of moving that ball to him in that whole kind of a role.
Yeah. True.
And that is why his game is suffering.
Betul, itu kata one of the games yang kita nampak Bruno suffer this season because of the inconsistency of Paul Pogba lah. Boleh nampak, especially ni lah one example yang I paling boleh ingat, the game lawan Leeds masa first apa this season lah, masa awal-awal dulu kan, masa tu memang kita main Pogba and Matip, if I'm not mistaken, playing together as a CDM. Bruno memang ada free roll lah, boleh nampak, even though kita ada striker kat depan tu, Bruno boleh orang kata the one yang akan memang lari off the ball punya lah kan. Bruno is someone yang memang macam Dok kata, dia perlukan seorang untuk cari dia dekat this hole yang mana dia boleh dekat depan tau. Bila dia pergi belakang dekat CDM punya role, dia memang tak boleh function apa-apa. That's why kita boleh nampak Bruno bila dia pergi ke bahagian belah CDM belakang tu, dia suffer because of the midfield yang memang tak boleh nak bagi that delicious ball, ataupun someone yang memang boleh find dia dekat hole yang dekat depan on the attacking side, the final third punya area tu. Because Bruno has been playing in that role masa dekat Portugal pun dia main that kind of role.
Yeah, and he's probably the only midfielder who's not afraid to take shots from outside the box.
Yeah, betul.
I think
But
none of our
I
other
think right now,
midfielders
I think Fred is doing it. Fred actually scores. So, but then, like, really, I don't know. I think most of the fans, we are frustrated with those kind of 40 yards, shots and whatnot, those kind of stuff. I think those kind of stuff need to actually stop. I think it's because out of frustration, that's why he's attempting those kind of shots out of the penalty box and whatnot. My question actually, Doc, do you think, right? Okay, this one I think I brought it up before, but I'm just gonna ask you again, right? Like Bruno, everyone say, oh, one of his best positiveness of his plays, he's like all over the place. He runs up, runs down, defense and whatnot. Do you think that actually interrupts the play of our team, because it will affect the shape? Dala, our players, is not very smart to cover holes and whatnot, right? So do you think that actually that will actually affect the teammates around him?
I actually don't think so. Yeah. I actually don't think so, because first of all, our team's positioning is horrible. Look at the defensive positions yesterday. Horrible. Teles is always caught when there's a fast forward ball. He's always caught on the wrong foot. He drifts in too much. The position is already very terrible. Even the midfielders, right? If Bruno doesn't come back, right, your midfield is bypassed so easily. I think it was the Leicester game, or even look at the Liverpool game. They made Thiago Alcantara look like Zidane. Okay, he was able to run the whole midfield. So I think that is why he drops back. In fact, I look at it a different way. I look at it because he is forced to drop back to cover that spaces. His game is suffering as compared to the other way around.
Okay, all right. We move on to the next one. Delicious topic, all right. Marcus Rashford. A lot of comment, but I'm saving it, all right. A lot. Like Marcus Rashford is actually jogging back. He's not tracking back. Ronaldo actually pointed out. You don't have to mute, Pija. Ketawa saja. You don't have to mute. Ronaldo actually pointed. I think this picture that Ronaldo pointed him to get into position, but then he was just walking to that space and whatnot. So what do you think about Marcus Rashford's performance yesterday?
Disappointing lah. It has been like macam kata lah, ever since he went through that operation to betulkan dia punya bahu. I tak tahu lah dia betulkan bahu ke dia betulkan otak dia kan. Sebab memang the mentality, the focus tu boleh nampak macam tak ada tau. In terms of, we can see that he is, I can't really say that he's not trying, but we can see that the focus is not there. I mean like dia buat benda yang memang macam like frustrating. I would rather have someone yang macam Garnacho ke all these Hannibal punya player kan. This youth player to play. But then I know it's important for Rafrani to play him just because of we want to chase for the top 4 punya places kan. But then yalah, boleh nampak lah. I pity him lah. This season has been one of the worst season yang dia ada lah for ever since dia debut 2016 if I'm not mistaken. Masa tu Europa League. Yeah.
Doc, okay. Doc, it's a controversial kind of question I'm going to ask you. Do you think that his performance right now at this very moment, right, is due to him, how to say, not understanding the system or whatnot, or do you think that he's purposely, how to say, down tooling, he's downplaying, playing below his ability?
That's a very tough one, lah.
I'll give you
don't.
an example. Like the game yesterday, all right, when we talk about
Yeah.
Reece James and whatnot, tracking back, this is one of the main things. That's why I think that actually Ilenga actually went over to the left to actually help with tracking back and whatnot. All right. So this is one of the simplest stuff. You don't have to be a football genius to understand that you need to actually track back and help your wing back who is actually suffering at this moment, who is low in confidence and whatnot.
Yeah, I do agree. Yesterday, I mean, he was really, I think, probably the worst player on the pitch, to be honest. I also think Bruno didn't have a good game, but Rashford was definitely the worst in the pitch. And I think what we all can't take, right, is a lack of effort, lah. I think there's some comment that, when he came down, he was substituted, right? And at the end of the game, he came down with the subs bench to run to Tuchel and shake his hand. And everybody
Help
says,
me. He's like, get me out.
No,
get me out.
He ran more than he ran the whole game, lah. Yeah, but I mean, and I don't know, lah. I don't know why his game is suffering. I don't know whether it's because he's got an issue with the manager. Because remember, he was dropped as well, right, earlier on in the season, and then there's some comments that he was not performing and things like that. So I don't know whether there's a problem with the manager. But again, for me, even if you have a problem with the manager or other players, your self-pride when you step on the pitch will allow you to give your all, right? And that's what we want. And sometimes I don't know whether, I've always said that Rashford is the type of player that whenever he's in the team, we look more dangerous all this while, right? But this season, not at all. Not at all. Probably I would say maybe in the first month that he came back, he scored a couple of goals and looked a bit sharp. Then suddenly he just disappeared. With the rest of the team suffering, he also suffered, and he has just not come out of that slump. Okay, so I don't know. Yesterday there were some rumors that with the new manager coming in, he wants to stay and fight for his place. And for me, I hope he comes back.
This I think is ridiculous. Is ridiculous. So if just say right now the players can actually select who they want to play for and they want to perform. I think this is ridiculous. Actually, the chat, right, the live chat is heating up. Okay, let me just read a few comments. All right, we got one comment by Justin Sean. Rashford is anti-Ralph, one of those players who's trying to throw the manager under the bus. Okay, and then we have another comment. All right, this is I don't agree lah, but then okay, Brown Bear. All right, just remember Rash was once the youth players that we wanted to see. Instead of sticking by him, we are crucifying him. So maybe in this case, all right, I'm gonna ask Pijala. All right, yes, definitely we have expectations early on that he would be the next Wayne Rooney and whatnot, right? But then now maybe we are seeing his true colors. Maybe players like this are, the problem in United now. They think they are better than who they actually are, and then they are dragging the whole team down. What do you think, Pija?
No. You have to remember, he has been performing season in, season out ever since their debut now. It's not fair for him. So seriously, it's not fair for him just because one bad season, suddenly you say that he is or this is really the true Marcus Rashford that we know. And it's not fair because he has been performing week in, week out. Even though masa tu Martial not performing, Mason Greenwood is not performing. He is the one yang memang helping this Manchester United, the worst Manchester United yang kita score sekarang ni, helping these players untuk perform and drag and score that goal, important goal untuk club now.
But I think if you're talking about this, right? Sorry, I have to interrupt you for this one, right? I think probably I would say his cutoff was when Ole left, and then after that everything went downhill. Probably towards the end of Ole and whatnot. So this one, my question is, I don't doubt his ability and whatnot, but why don't we see his ability right now? I'm not talking about, like doing those kind of worldy goals, those dribbles. Yes, I always give him banter, he banged into walls. Okay, we take that away. The simplest stuff, you don't have the ball at your feet also, you just need to run back. Even that also he don't want to do. So wouldn't you say that this kind of players is not the place that we want if you're talking about a rebuild, with the right mentality, the right passion and whatnot? What do you think,
okay. Let me ask you this question, Dom. Why do you think that Rashford doesn't... There's two possibility kenapa Rashford tak turun now. I mean, helping talents in terms of the defensive duty. First, mungkin mungkin dia ada attitude problem. Second one, maybe this is the tactic or this is the formation yang memang Ralf Rangnick nak implement. Rashford boleh turun tapi jangan turun sangat because we want to attack them. We want to attack the Chelsea players in terms of kita nak main counter attack. So dia kata we can't really blame. Memanglah kita boleh blame Rashford because of dia cakap lah. It's not really have to be the football genius that players have to track back. Players have to support the defensive duty. But there's a possibility that there is a tactic from Raf Ragni mengatakan the attacking side, the Ilanga and the Rashford doesn't have to be like going backwards in terms of Turau. There's a possibility of that. So
That
we
is
can't
yes.
play Rashford.
But during the game, if you are playing for a team that you love, you talk about your passion, you're the academy product and whatnot. You look at your wingback, Teles is suffering. Reece James is running wild havoc on the left hand side. Wouldn't you want to come back and track back and help? Just the intention of tracking back. That's all. Regardless, tracking back under those circumstances wouldn't be a wrong thing to do, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Kalau I buat macam tu, dan manager barang I siapa salah? I salah ke manager salah?
No, in that case, I think if just say you're covering for that, obviously, I don't think, right? I mean, yeah, we're giving a lot of situations, analogy and whatnot, right? But then if that is the case, then why Elanga actually switch over to the left-hand side to help Teles, to track back and help Teles?
But
That is
Ilanga also
definitely-
didn't do a good job,
True lah.
Even if you look at it,
Ilanga-
Ilanga also
but-
didn't do a good job. So I don't know whether, I mean, Pizal may have a point. It may have been a sort of a tactical thing to try and get behind their advanced fullbacks. But it never happened, though, to be honest. I never saw it happen. But I mean,
was
Dom,
waiting
whatever
for
said
this.
and
Okay,
done,
okay,
I
alright,
agree
go
with
ahead,
Pijal.
Pijal.
I agree with
Pijal.
Pijal.
I was waiting
Rashford
for
has
this
had
comment.
how many good seasons in the last few years? He's been the one leading the line. Every time he didn't play, we suffered. When he played, he scored. Look, he is going through a bad patch, right? And probably, maybe it's a confidence thing, maybe it's an attitude thing. But as far as I know, from his background, right, he's been, poor kid, came up the hard way. He doesn't have that kind of very poor attitude. Not that we've seen in 4 years. I don't think the attitude suddenly come up.
Agree with
after
Roger
1
here.
year.
It's not one bad season. Even when he was scoring goals, they were just patching up bad form, which is very, very true. Let's be honest, it's very, very true here. Right? Like you talk about his goals that he scored these seasons and whatnot. That was build up, tap in goals and whatnot. So I think this is a very, very good comment. Right? And I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this comment. All right, I gotta read this out. All right, my man Raj. If Rashford was French, right, they would have treated him worse than Marcel. Can I get a standing ovation from everybody? This is very true. Seriously, y'all kecam Martial ball watching. Then what the hell was it yesterday? Not only yesterday, the few times that he played, running to walls and whatnot. At least Martial produces some stuff for his teammates and whatnot. Right? Anyone want to object? Anyone want to object?
I object.
Okay, my question now, right, Doc? So when we are talking about the rebuild and whatnot, obviously we are looking at the right players to come in. All right, let's talk about removing players. All right, do you think that we should remove players? All right, who are hardworking, okay, but they are not that talented, or they are talented, but then they underperform, purposely underperform. Which kind would you rather remove, Doc?
If you're asking me personally, of course, I would take off players who are purposely underperforming. That is never been something that I would actually take when I'm playing the team as well, right? But it all depends on how Erik ten Hag can handle the egos in the dressing room. He is not a traditional big name like your Pep, your Klopp, and whatever not, where players already respect you before you step into the dressing room. Okay, so he has to manage these egos. I know he's coming from Ajax, but it's a big club in Holland. But outside that, when you look at the bigger countries, it's still okay. He's a Dutch coach and some Ajax and all. But he will have to handle. He doesn't have that credentials that other big managers have to handle these egos, right? So he really has to handle his egos and then get them playing the way he wants. So it's actually, that's why I said I think the last show as well. He's got a gigantic task on his hands. There are a lot, and this, like I think some of ex-players have said as well, these players have already thrown several managers under the bus.
Yeah.
Right? Can he now be the exception? Let's hope so.
But you didn't answer. Would you get rid of those players or not? Those players that, how to say
it really depends
they
on
have the
how
talent.
they perform. Yeah.
They have the talent. So
they're
you're saying that
definitely
you would
definitely not going to
them?
start off underperforming.
Are you saying that you will actually keep them in the team and then try to use your man management and whatnot to brainwash them, smile and be their best friend so that
no, everybody gets a fair slate at the beginning. That's how the manager comes in. He will assess his players during the preseason and then decide whether these players need to stay or go. If the players are definitely not going to back a manager or they're not working hard in training, then they need to go. Simple as that. If you want to build something from the ground up.
I'm how to say highly suspicious and critical of these kind of players lah. All right, players that I got this manager, I like the guy. Oh, he's from Norway, I like him, I'll play for him. Then after that, this other manager come in, I don't like the guy. Or maybe I don't want the guy don't play me, I get angry, I don't play and whatnot. So these kind of players, I think we got to address this issue from the start, regardless of whether they perform and whatnot, right? How do you know that midway through the season, then suddenly their pattern come back again, and then they start causing trouble again in the dressing room and whatnot?
No, but again, Dom, something, maybe we are not aware of some things that are going on in that dressing room. Okay, how can Marcus Rashford, who has been performing decently since his debut season, he has been performing consistently season in, season out. Now suddenly, totally off. Okay, one, it can be form, right, and that can be only corrected through training and things like that, games, regular games. Something else could be happening in the background. There's talks of cliques. There's talk of dressing room unrest. I think Jesse Lingard has spilled some beans to Paul Scholes as well. The dressing room is a mess. All these can affect the player's psyche. So if these things are addressed, right, moving forward in the next season, let's hope we can get our players performing well back again.
Okay, you got a comment by Smurf. Let me read this comment first. All right. Solution is have a garage sale and getting new players who will fight, play for the badge, and not think they are bigger than the club, and even wanting a say in who has to manage them. Okay, Pijal, you were saying?
No, I have to remember. We keep on blaming Rashford because of the mungkin off the field punya mindset, all this charity everything. Wouldn't fans should be the one of the one yang patut kita blame, because we keep on criticizing macam-macam brown bag kata dia, we keep on crucifying kutuk this match Rashford because of not performing. We should have backup him, support him. Maksudnya begitu, okay, it's okay Rashford, you can do this. You are our you are our product. We want you to perform better. Suddenly bila player main, dia buat something like macam orang kata macam bila langgar dinding ke, mulalah ada some fan kata ni Marcus Rashford dia langgar dinding, dia tak ada buat apa-apa.
I think Pijal, like some fans are saying me, but seriously, right? I think the fans have been really, really patient. I think like what Rush say, I know, Marcel and whatnot, it's very true. They have been actually quite patient with the English players and whatnot. And then right now, I think they already hit the limit. That's why they start kecam Marcus Rashford in this case.
Why we can support players when they are performing well for 6 or 5 seasons. Suddenly one bad season.
It's not one bad season, Pijal. It's not one bad season. I think even last season also he was not doing very well already.
Last season was better than this season. So we can agree that, right? Marcus Rashford has been performing from 2016 up until now. Memang dia perform week in week out. Week in week out lah. I mean season in season out. Boleh nampak dia punya stat. He scores more than 15 ataupun 10 goals per season.
Okay, this comment is awesome, man. Okay, remember those days we support our own players and kecam opponents. Nowadays we kecam our players and triple captain our opponent players.
I think after seeing this comment, Eriton is like clapping in Singapore.
I can hear it from here. But okay, guys, I think we'll have a separate episode on this thing to discuss this particular matter. I think it's something that we need to dive into.
Why don't you put that comment from Enquiries? Such a
no, we're running out of time. Okay, let's talk about Ralph Reddick. Okay just for you Doc. All right, Enquiries, welcome to the channel. The only player deserves to stay is David De Gea. All right,
he's now my new best friend.
You're obviously
can we get him to do the closing statement instead of our usual one?
Briley is not here today. I think you PM Doc you PM Doc your number, then you all can talk later or to the night Today is Friday night, you can sleep late and whatnot. Okay, we're going to the next topic. Ralph Rangnick. All right now he's I think appointed as the official coach of Austria. Manager of Austria. All right. So, Pijal, how do you think that this will actually affect his role? All right. This question is for you, all right. Affect his role as the consultant, whatever it is, as in Manchester United.
Okay, I divert balik the question. Question cancel with question. Marcus Rashford doing charity work. Do we condemn them?
Marcus Rashford doing charity work. What has that got to do with Ralph Rangnick?
No.
I wouldn't condemn him for that.
We want Marcus Rashford to really focus whatever happens on the pitch. We want Marcus Rashford to really focus on Manchester United Football Club. Suddenly, there's this interim manager who suddenly become a consultant, have a dare to take a part-time job, pergi ke Austria punya manager tau.
Pizza, question. Before you get excited, let me ask you one question. He's working hours, working days, how much in a how many hours, how many days in a month
So,
working for the consultant role?
This one we have
6
to
days.
hire Syed to look at the
6 days,
JD.
right? Yeah, 6 days, right? 6 days, right? So 6 days, then 24 days, what you expect him to do?
then do it behind the scene lah. Maksudnya tak, even though you tak masuk office ke apa, then at least I want someone who really focus about Manchester United Football Club. I don't want my manager, kita marah Glazer kan, dia ada 2-3 club yang dia manage kan, dan dia tak pernah nampak pun. Dan suddenly bila datang Rafrani, kita suddenly macam like, oh boleh pula bila masuk Rafrani ni.
JomUnited owner pun part-time Jom segi. That one tak jadilah, project tak jadilah. That is like one of the NFT project, those cryptocurrency project tak jadilah. Okay, question. This is funny, Smurf. Did Ralph Rangnick use us as a stepping stone? Maybe his dream job is actually to be the manager of Austria, you know. International football. What do you think, dog? And also, yeah, on a serious note, what do you think about this appointment? This new job?
Wrong stepping stone. He could have gone to some other club and got the Austrian job. No, but I think it's very confusing. You know, a role of a country manager, right? I mean, okay, let's look at Southgate, for example. He has to go to games to watch players playing, right? Who are the informed players? Now, if Ralf Rangnick is the coach of Austria, I don't know where do Austria players play. Mostly in German league, probably. Probably you got some in Italian league, or he will have to travel, right? He will travel. He have to go and see players. It's not just during the international week where he goes off. You know, in between he'll have to go see players. You know, all these tactics, whatever nots, and all these things. I find it a lack of focus, lah. If you actually have a guy who's supposed to be your sort of like
Evolution.
yeah, you know, leading the evolution, right? But he's not there, right? And somebody, I think, some of the comments, I think in our group also, they said, oh, ETH doesn't need hand holding and all that. But come on, lah, you are the guy leading the revolution. You've come out with all these comments and criticizing this player, that player. This is what you've done, you know, waiting for somebody to come. And then now, first of all, as coach, you're not doing the job. Like some would say he's only a press conference manager. I won't point at anybody, but yeah, you know. So already you're not having that confidence. So you see, players are not having that kind of respect for him. Now he's having a role, a key role, and you've got Austria national manager. I find it really, it is no focus, lah. It's not focused on getting the job done.
No, okay. So I mean, all right, because that one is in the future, and we have yet to see what will happen, right? But at this very moment, right, assuming if Ralf Rangnick, regardless of what is happening on the pitch, because we know there's a lot of reasons the team is not performing. Okay, if by the end of this season, by the end of his 6 months period as the interim of Manchester United, he managed to get Erik ten Hag in as the manager, all right, and he managed to get Paul Mitchell in as the director of football. Would you consider that an achievement?
No, absolutely not. The minimum bringing him in was to get a Champions League place.
Okay, you crazy?
No, of course not.
Yes, right.
Of course not. And he
came
in, remember, at a time where there were a lot of easy games. Okay? We drew those, we lost those, and we lost our Champions. And all, actually, if you look at it, right, all our surrounding teams competing for the fourth place, everybody doesn't want that fourth place, you know. If we had just pulled off a couple of wins here and there, we'd comfortably be in fourth place. And to be honest, whether or not he exposed everyone, that's not his job. His job was an interim manager to do what needed to be done to get these players playing to at least qualify for the Champions League. That's all he needed to do. And there's no way competing for.
What's the point if you qualify for the Champions League, but all those kind of issues and whatnot is hidden in the closet, is not being exposed and whatnot? There won't be a proper rebuild. There won't be, because we wouldn't know what is going on and whatnot. So if he is someone who comes out in public and informs everyone, you know, in a way, not directly, indirectly tells everyone what is actually going on, then we have an idea. You know, you can actually see the improvements of. I mean, like recent times, he's coming up more and more stuff. And then the press conference and whatnot, the questions that they are actually asking him is improving over time. This is, I think, way better than, you know, our previous regime and whatnot. You trying to be happy and nice to everybody, cover up, you know, we go again, you know, find margins and stuff like that. Wouldn't you consider that already an improvement already?
Again, what was your job? Your job is as a coach, okay? You are moving to that role next season. You can collect whatever information you want to collect and use it later. But your job is not to expose it now while the team suffers on the pitch. You
I'm
know,
going to
and
be
and and
I'm
to
going
be
to be
honest,
reading.
Adam, to be honest, Adam,
Yeah.
I was one of those who wanted him to come in because of the way he caught me with that elevator speech lah again, right? You know, oh my
I think
players,
I
you know,
think
they
I
need to
think
do this
right.
in their sleep and all. But what and there were a lot of excuses in the first month. Oh, you know, we don't worry, our team will start getting pressing. You think it doesn't take so long? You know, it takes a few 3 months, 4 months. He only had 6 months. You come up with a formula that will guarantee you a success in that 6 months. Okay, and to me, no, I don't agree. I think looking at the performances on the pitch, it's very poor. What is the system? Everybody said under Ole, we have no system. Oh, no, our players don't know how to play. We got no system. Individual brilliance. What were we saved by yesterday?
I think
Individual brilliance.
this is another good comment. I think my only friend, my only ally in this situation is Brown Bear, right? Brown Bear. Okay, so qualify for Champions League, then expose and rebuild while we are in Europe. I think
Yeah.
it's a very
So
nice
you
decision.
are sacrificing. I don't want to be in Champions League. I don't want to be in Europa League. I want to rebuild. How sure is your rebuild going to be okay? What happens if you start to rebuild and again everybody throws the manager under the bus? You are
Again,
not going to.
that's why when you talk about rebuilding, okay, number one, like we need to get the proper manager in, all right, and then we talk about recruitment, because the thing that failed us a lot in the past few seasons and whatnot, I mean, bringing all these problems till today is the recruitment, the players that we actually got, the wages that we have. So maybe someone like a director of football that comes in will actually stop all this kind of thing from happening again. So this is, I think, the initial steps, a very good foundation for us to actually move forward from there. And then, of course, the next thing the manager has to do, he has to clear the datewood. He has to do it. He has to, find out which players who actually want to play for the batch, and then you remove those players. We have to do that and whatnot. If just say at the back of your mind, you still need to play for Champions League and whatnot, wouldn't you think that will actually affect, this, how to say, the manager's decision to actually do a proper rebuild? When you talk about rebuild, you talk about resetting, you start from ground zero, no expectations, no nothing. Right? Again,
No, I
okay, no
don't
doubt you
agree.
qualify
I
for
don't
Champions League, but what is your goals for Champions League? Do you think that we will actually go to the finals next season with the squad that we have, with the, how to say, with the players that we have, with the mentality that we have? What's the point of going to Champions League to being embarrassed again, to lose and then
Dom.
probably drop back to Europa League again? What's the point of that?
Dom, we are Manchester United,
We are
You
not
should
the
not-
same Manchester United that
It
we all
doesn't
love. We
matter.
are no
It
longer. We
doesn't
have to
matter.
accept the fact. We have
Even
to
if
accept
you
the
want
fact
to
that we are
rebuild,
not
okay.
a nostalgia team anymore. We don't talk about our past. We are no longer that team, dog. The only thing nice is this logo. The only thing nice is this logo. That's all. And my face. That's all. The rest and stuff, right? The rest stuff, it's all nostalgia. We can go and watch your VHS, enjoy the VHS. Let's be honest, let's be truthful. We are Manchester United, yes, as a team and whatnot, the name, the brand and whatnot. But the football that we are playing is all crap. It won't mean anything at all. The only thing, you have me getting my face red every single day. High blood
but
pressure,
it
my blood pressure is
doesn't
rising,
mean
every single day.
doesn't mean just because you're not in the Champions League, you're not in Europa League, right? Your rebuild is going to be successful just because you're playing a game a week. It's not true.
The focus is definitely there. All right, maybe we can actually ask the live viewers and whatnot, and then those that who are watching this episode, maybe leave your comments below and whatnot. Do you think with a proper rebuild, we should go for Champions League for Europe, or we should start from ground zero, get
Champions League
everything
probably
right?
not
take
anymore
our-
lah. There's
take-
definitely
yeah
no
lah.
way.
I mean, because you talk about the Champions League, okay lah, Europa or whatever it is, should we start with ground zero, do the right things? Like, for example, what Arsenal has been doing the past few weeks, when I think they basically not playing for Europe, you can actually see the improvements in their play and whatnot. They just take one game a week and whatnot. Maybe they got some league games or whatnot. Cup games and whatnot. So from there, we build from there. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Dom, I tell you. So you think Raf Rani has done a good job right now?
I wouldn't say good job.
As an interim manager, though.
I
Yeah,
think
because
for what
he's doing well because he's exposing all the problems, but not
Yeah,
on the pitch.
again, I think for someone who is having his hand tied behind his back, he didn't have any support in the transfer window, in the January transfer window. The players don't want. Some players, obviously, I think at least one or two players don't want to play for him, don't want to perform under him and whatnot. So for what we have right now, I think he's actually doing a good job. To be honest, I think he's doing a good job and whatnot. And again, there were rumors initially, and then now it's confirmed that actually he had a say on which manager actually comes into Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag over Poch. That for me is huge already. All right, and then he's pointing out stuff like maybe Harry Maguire is not supposed to be the captain. He's being more and more vocal towards this end, and then exposing our defense and whatnot. And then the players, regardless of whether we get Champions League or whatnot, this is their professionalism on the line. They should perform. They should play, representing the badge and whatnot. I think this is something that is a breath of fresh air and whatnot. Yes, I know you talk about the elevator speech and whatnot, but I think this is something that it has been severely lacking under our previous regime and whatnot.
Let me ask you this question. What are the job description for a manager?
Again,
expose the winners.
not to say expose.
Press
Even the
conference,
circumstances.
press
Again, we cannot give a job description like a goalkeeper. You need to keep clean sheets and stuff like that. It's not like that, because again, being thrown into a team like Manchester United at this moment now, right? Any manager will suffer. Pep comes in as an interim manager with whatever experience he got in Manchester City. You think he can fix it in 6 months? Let's be honest. You think he can?
No.
Okay, I'll make it even more better for you. Pep comes in, Carrington hold hand with Klopp. Okay, we both become manager. You think he can fix it in 6 months? Whatever issues that we have in 6 months, with the same attitude that the players is giving Ralph Rangnick, you think those fellas can fix the issues? You think you can fix the issues?
Why not? We only can do that with the worst team. He
Okay,
makes
He's got a point, you know.
we are
Only
Yeah,
interim now, only interim. Before he got before he signed the
right?
contract.
I think this one we'll leave it up to the live chat, and then also
No,
if you're
again,
watching
Dom,
this later.
Tuchel.
Yeah.
Tuchel did it when he went to Chelsea last season. Let's not go to Ole lah, because everybody will now make noise. Right?
But
Tuchel did it
Tuchel,
when
I
he
think
went
pretty
to-
much the squad is already there already. A very, very good squad is already there. They are somehow,
We
okay,
also have
if you want to
squad,
compare, right, the Chelsea team and the Manchester United team from last season, right, would you say who is more, they are more cohesive as a unit? Would you say our
But
team right
even
now
Chelsea,
is more
remember, Chelsea didn't have the previous season. They couldn't sign players, remember? So they brought in Mason Mount and all
Tuchel
that.
came in after Lampard did all his whole revamp of the squad. So if you're talking about cohesiveness of a squad, which squad is playing better?
Yeah, but that squad wasn't performing under Lampard. And he came in and he changed it around and won the Champions League. So it is doable.
Yep.
Right? I'm not saying we could have won the Champions League. No.
Right now, right, we have a left winger who is not into it. We have Harry Maguire in our team. Okay, I'm not going to talk about goalkeeper, right? I'm being serious. Our goalkeeper is okay. We got left backs who can't do shit, who can't cross. On paper, they are fabulous and whatnot. We don't have a proper midfield. We only are relying on Matic and Olbert. All right, Fred and McTominay, okay, on-off performance. Bruno is definitely not performing this season and whatnot. Okay, Cavani is on an MC break. He's on a spree, a holiday spree, whatever it is. You would compare that to the Chelsea team. That's my question.
Can I just say that Ole finished second and qualified for Champions League in the last 2 seasons? Okay, let's not count this season, right? With pretty much the same squad, with AWB playing at right back, Luke Shaw playing at left back, Harry Maguire and Lindelof in the center.
Okay,
same team.
Guys, actually, we are already far, too long into our segment already. So anyway,
we should have a Ralph Rangnick special lah.
Yeah, we'll have
versus MU.
We'll have this. But regardless, I love you, Doc. I love you, Pija, right? And I love you guys. So leave your comments. What do you guys think of our discussion just now? This is not it's not scripted and whatnot. How can you all talk about all this kind of stuff now? All right. So anyway, usually please like, share, subscribe, and then we'll see you guys in the next episode. All right. Good night.
Good night.